The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. It came not through conventional radio signals, but through quantum channels that humanity had only recently learned to monitor. In the control room of the Global Space Defense Center, located deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the analysts stared at their screens in silence. "Sir, you need to see this," said Tom Reed, his fingers trembling slightly as he typed commands into his console. The message repeated itself, over and over, in perfect English. "Submit or perish." Commander James Walker stood behind his chair, his weathered face reflecting in the dark screen. At 60 years old, he had spent most of his life preparing for this moment, though few knew it. He picked up the red phone on the wall, the one that connected directly to every major military and scientific installation on Earth. "This is Walker. Code Black. I repeat, Code Black." Within an hour, the world's top military leaders and scientists gathered in the underground command center. The room buzzed with nervous energy as Walker took his place at the head of the long steel table. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice steady and calm, "what you're about to see will change everything you think you know about our history." He nodded to Dr. Rachel White, who projected a series of images onto the main screen. "These are not just random signals," Dr. White explained, pointing to complex patterns of data. "They match perfectly with signals received before the destruction of other civilizations. We've been monitoring them for decades." She paused, letting the information sink in. "The difference is, we're ready." The room erupted in confused murmurs. Admiral Thompson stood up, his uniform crisp despite the early morning call. "What do you mean, we're ready?" "This is the first contact we've ever had with alien life." Walker smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "That's what we wanted everyone to think." He pressed a button, and the floor-to-ceiling screens around the room lit up with images that made several people gasp. They showed massive underground facilities, advanced weapons systems, and technology that looked nothing like anything publicly known to exist. "Since 1947, we've been preparing," Walker continued. "Every major nation has played a part, keeping the secret while building our defenses. The Roswell incident wasn't just a crash, it was a gift, a warning from a dying race who had faced these same invaders." Dr. White stepped forward again. "The message we received today isn't just a threat. It's a test. These beings have destroyed countless civilizations using the same pattern. They send a warning, wait for signs of panic or submission, then strike when their targets are at their weakest. But we're not going to panic, are we?" Walker looked around the room, meeting each person's eyes. "For 3 generations, we've been building, planning, and preparing. Every space program, every military exercise, every technological advance has had a dual purpose." The room fell silent as Walker walked to the main console. With a few keystrokes, he brought up a planetary defense grid that had been hidden in plain sight. Satellites that the world thought were for communications or weather monitoring revealed their true nature. Space stations that appeared to be research facilities transformed into battle stations. "We have one advantage they don't expect," Walker said, his voice filled with quiet confidence. "They think they're dealing with a young, divided species that will crumble at the first sign of a superior force. They don't know that we've been waiting for them." Admiral Thompson's face showed understanding dawning. "The space race, the Cold War, all of it. All part of the plan." Walker nodded. "Keeping humanity sharp, innovative, and most importantly, appearing divided and primitive to any watching eyes." He turned to the communications officer. "Send our response." The young officer looked nervous. "What? What should I send, sir?" Walker's face hardened with determination. 3 words. "Come and find out." As the message was transmitted into space, Walker looked around the room at the leaders of Earth's hidden defense force. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been preparing for. For 3 generations, we've carried this secret, built our defenses, and waited. Now we show them why you never corner a species that turned its own planet into a survival game and won." The quantum channels hummed with Earth's response, carrying humanity's message to the stars. The game of deception was about to begin, and humanity was holding all the cards. In the weeks following Earth's defiant response, the planet transformed. Like a butterfly emerging from its carefully constructed cocoon, humanity's true technological face began to show itself. Hidden facilities across the globe activated their defense systems, revealing what lay beneath the facade of normal human civilization. Deep beneath the ice of Antarctica, massive hangar doors that had been disguised as glaciers for decades slowly opened. Inside, rows of sleek spacecraft stood ready, their dark metal hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Workers in advanced environmental suits moved with practiced efficiency, running final checks on engines that had been waiting for this moment for years. Commander Walker stood in the central command room, watching as green lights flickered across the global defense grid. Status report. He called out to the room full of operators. Asian defense ring at 100% power, reported one technician. European shield grid online. African orbital platforms activated. American defense systems ready. The reports continued, each confirmation adding another layer to Earth's protective shield. Dr. White appeared at his side, holding a tablet displaying complex equations. The reverse-engineered gravity drives are functioning perfectly, she said, her eyes bright with excitement. We've managed to improve the original alien design by 300%. They won't expect that. They won't expect any of this, Walker replied, allowing himself a small smile. On the main screen, he watched as the moon's hidden bases activated. What aliens would see as simple craters were actually carefully disguised launch bays and weapon platforms. The intercom crackled. "Sir, the President is ready for the global broadcast." Walker nodded. It was time to tell the public. They had rehearsed this moment for generations, with each nation's leaders trained on exactly how to break the news without causing panic. The world would learn that they weren't helpless. Far from it. The President's face appeared on screens worldwide. Her voice was calm and reassuring as she revealed the truth that had been hidden for so long. "My fellow citizens of Earth," she began, "today I share with you both a challenge and a triumph." As she spoke, holographic displays activated in major cities, showing the true extent of Earth's defenses. People stopped in the streets, watching in awe as massive shield generators rose from hidden bunkers. In orbit, thousands of satellites shed their civilian disguises, revealing advanced weapon systems and defense platforms. "This is not a time for fear," the President continued. "For 3 generations, every nation on Earth has worked together in secret, preparing for this day. The technologies we've kept hidden have advanced far beyond what you know. We are ready." In the command center, Walker watched as public reaction data streamed in. Instead of panic, people were responding with determination and pride. The plan was working perfectly. "Sir," called out a young operator, "we're detecting movement at the edge of the solar system. Multiple objects, moving fast." Walker straightened his uniform. "Right on schedule. They always attack right after the warning, thinking their targets will be disorganized and frightened." He turned to Dr. White. "Are the stealth systems running?" She nodded, tapping commands into her console. "All they'll see is what we want them to see. A primitive planet just beginning to explore space. Our real defenses are completely invisible to their scanning technology." The command room hummed with activity as final preparations were made. Ancient bunkers, built in secret by people who would never live to see them used, powered up their systems. Orbital weapons platforms, disguised as space debris, silently tracked the approaching alien fleet. "All defense grid sectors report ready," announced the chief tactical officer. "Quantum shields are at full power, but running dark. Stealth systems are functioning perfectly. The enemy fleet won't detect our true capabilities until it's too late." Walker looked at the tactical display showing the approaching alien ships. They were moving exactly as predicted, following the same attack pattern they had used to destroy countless other civilizations. But this time, things would be different. Send word to all commands, Walker ordered, his voice firm. Operation Phoenix is now active. Remember your training. Let them think they're facing a primitive species until the very last moment. He paused, watching the alien fleets approach. Humanity has been playing dead for 75 years. Time to show them how alive we really are. The alien fleet emerged from deep space exactly as predicted, their massive ships casting long shadows across Pluto's surface. Earth's hidden sensors counted 50 vessels, each one larger than the largest city on Earth. They moved with military precision, their formation speaking of countless successful invasions. In the command center, Walker watched the main screen with practiced calm. "Right on time," he said, checking his watch, just like the Roswell warning said they would. The alien ships were black and angular, designed to inspire fear. Their pointed front sections looked like massive spears aimed at Earth's heart, but instead of fear, Walker felt satisfaction. Every detail matched the plans they had studied for decades. "Sir," called out the communications officer, "they're broadcasting on all frequencies." "Let's hear it," Walker ordered, his face showing nothing. A deep voice filled the command center, speaking in perfect English. "Primitive species of Earth," it began, the tone dripping with superiority. "We are the Dominion. Your planet has been chosen for harvesting. Resist, and face extinction. Submit, and some may survive as servants." Dr. White stepped forward, checking readings on her tablet. "They're scanning us," she reported quietly. "Their tech is exactly what we expected. They can't see through our stealth fields." Walker nodded and pressed a button on his command console. "This is Earth. We receive you." He kept his voice carefully uncertain, like a child trying to sound brave. "We request a meeting to discuss terms." The alien response came quickly. "You show wisdom in your fear. We will send an ambassador to your pathetic United Nations. Prepare your leaders for submission." As the transmission ended, Walker allowed himself a small smile. "They're following the script perfectly. Alert all commands. Continue operating at level 1 disguise. Let them see exactly what they expect to see." Hours later, a single alien shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere. Military jets scrambled to escort it, carefully flying older model planes that had been kept just for this show. The shuttle landed at the UN headquarters in New York, its sleek design making Earth's visible technology look primitive in comparison. The alien ambassador emerged, tall and imposing in gleaming armor. Its helmet retracted, revealing gray skin and eyes that glowed with internal light. The creature stood nearly 8 feet tall, looking down at the gathered human leaders with obvious contempt. Walker stood among the Earth's officials, now dressed in a simple diplomatic uniform rather than his military gear. He watched as the alien ambassador strode forward, its movements showing complete confidence in its superiority. "I am High Commander Dex of the Dominion," the alien announced, its voice echoing through the UN chamber. "We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Your resistance would be pointless. Your technology is primitive. Your defenses are non-existent. Submit now and save yourselves unnecessary suffering." Walker stepped forward, playing his role perfectly. "We are a peaceful people," he said, letting his voice shake slightly. "But we need time to prepare our people for such a dramatic change. Surely a few days to organize an orderly transition would not be too much to ask." The alien commander made a sound that might have been laughter. "You have 24 hours. Use them wisely." It turned and strode back to its shuttle, clearly considering the meeting beneath its dignity. As the shuttle lifted off, Walker received a message through his hidden earpiece. "Sir, they're positioning their fleet for a standard attack formation, exactly like the Roswell data predicted." Walker touched his comm unit discreetly. "Send word to all commands. Maintain stealth protocols. Let them position themselves exactly where we want them." He looked up at the sky where the alien shuttle was disappearing into the clouds. "They're so convinced of their superiority, they don't even consider we might be smarter than we look." In orbit, Earth's real defense fleet remained invisible, watching as the alien warships moved into position. Hidden weapons tracked their movements, while quantum computers calculated perfect firing solutions. Everything was going according to plan. The aliens had no idea they had just walked into the biggest trap in human history. The next 24 hours were a masterpiece of military theater. Around the world, humans put on the greatest show of weakness in history. Military bases appeared to scramble in disorganized panic. Civilian broadcasts showed people rushing to stores and fighting over supplies. Every satellite and sensor visible to alien scanning technology displayed exactly what the Dominion expected to see: a primitive species in chaos. In the fake command center built just for alien surveillance, Walker sat with other world leaders, pretending to argue about surrender terms. Hidden cameras confirmed that the Dominion was watching every moment. "The aliens are eating it up," Dr. White whispered, looking at her hidden tablet. "Their scan patterns show they're completely focused on our surface activities. They haven't detected any of our real installations." Walker fought to hide his smile. Below their feet, in the real command center 30 levels deeper, Earth's true defense force was moving like a well-oiled machine. Every piece was falling into place. The alien ambassador, High Commander Dex, had demanded another meeting. This time, he brought a small device that projected a hologram of Earth's solar system. Red dots showed the positions of the Dominion fleet. "Your time grows short," Dex announced, his glowing eyes sweeping across the room. "We detect your primitive attempts to hide weapons in orbit. Your missiles and crude energy weapons are an insult. Submit now, and we may spare your larger cities." Walker stepped forward, letting his hands shake slightly. Perhaps we could offer you some of our resources. Our planet is rich in minerals and water. Surely we could reach an agreement." Dex made that strange laughing sound again. "You don't understand. We don't negotiate. We take." He touched his armor, and new holograms appeared, showing scenes of other worlds burning. This is what resistance looks like. In the real command center below, Dr. White watched the meeting through hidden cameras. "Arrogant fool," she muttered. "He's so busy trying to scare us, he hasn't even noticed we're recording and analyzing every detail of their technology." The quantum computers were working overtime, studying every frequency, every energy signature from the aliens' equipment. Each piece of data confirmed what the Roswell warnings had told them. The Dominion relied on overwhelming force rather than innovation. They had used the same tactics, the same technology, for centuries. "Sir," a technician called out, "we're detecting energy buildups in their fleet. They're preparing weapon systems." "Right on schedule," Walker replied through his secure comm unit. "They always strike before their deadline." "Status of our defense grid: all systems green. Quantum shields are ready but still hidden. The fleet is in position around Mars and the Moon. Ground batteries are charged. We're just waiting for your signal." Above ground, the show continued. Walker and the other leaders made a great display of arguing about surrender terms. Dex watched with obvious pleasure, completely fooled by humanity's act. "You have 6 hours left," the alien commander announced finally. "Use them to prepare your surrender broadcasts." He turned to leave, then stopped. "Oh, and don't bother with your primitive nuclear weapons. Our shields were designed to handle much more advanced civilizations than yours." After Dex left, Walker waited until the alien shuttle was well away before allowing himself a real smile. In his ear, Dr. White's voice was triumphant. "They're positioned exactly where we want them. Every ship is right where the battle computer predicted they would go." "Send the word to all commands," Walker ordered quietly. "Begin final preparations. When they make their move, we'll be ready." He looked up at the sky through the window. Somewhere up there, the Dominion fleet was preparing what they thought would be an easy conquest. They had no idea that humans had spent 3 generations preparing for this moment. Every failed invasion they had carried out against other species had taught humanity exactly what not to do. Every victory they had celebrated had shown Earth's defenders exactly how to defeat them. The greatest trap in history was about to be sprung, and the Dominion was flying right into it. The Dominion didn't wait 6 hours. Just as Earth's defenders had predicted, they attacked in 4. Their massive ships moved into attack formation, while humanity appeared to sleep, their weapons charging with enough power to level cities. In the real command center, Walker watched the alien fleet's movements on the quantum display. "They're starting their attack run," he announced calmly, "just like every other invasion they've ever done." "Status report." "All systems ready, sir," Dr. White replied, her fingers dancing across her control panel. "Every alien ship is exactly where we predicted they would be. They're using the same attack pattern they've used for the last 1,000 years." The first alien shots lit up Earth's night sky. Massive energy beams streaked toward major cities, meant to destroy humanity's visible defense systems. The aliens watched through their sensors, expecting to see panic and destruction. Instead, their weapons vanished into nothing. In his command ship, High Commander Dex stared at his screens in confusion. "What is this?" he demanded. "Where did our attack go?" The answer came in the form of a global transmission. Walker's voice, no longer shaking or uncertain, filled every channel. "Attention Dominion Fleet. Thank you for arriving exactly on schedule. We've been waiting 75 years for this moment." Around the Earth, the air itself seemed to shimmer. Thousands of hidden satellites revealed themselves, their stealth fields dropping to show advanced weapon systems that had been invisible to alien scans. The quantum shields that had absorbed the Dominion's attack became visible, their energy patterns far more advanced than anything the aliens had seen before. "Impossible," Dex shouted, his glowing eyes wide with shock. "Their technology was primitive. Our scans showed." "Your scans showed exactly what we wanted them to see," Walker's voice cut in. "We've had decades to study your tactics, your technology, your weaknesses. The civilization you destroyed at Roswell didn't die in vain. They taught us everything about you." From behind the moon, Earth's real fleet emerged. The ships were smaller than the Dominion's massive vessels, but they moved with incredible speed and precision. From Mars, another fleet appeared, boxing the alien ships in. "All defense stations, execute Operation Phoenix," Walker commanded. "Show them what humanity can really do." The space around Earth exploded with activity. The quantum shields that had absorbed the alien attack now redirected that energy, sending it back at the Dominion ships in focused beams. Gravity weapons, reversed engineered and improved from the Roswell wreckage, created localized space distortions that trapped alien vessels in place. "Sir, they're trying to retreat," a tactical officer reported. "Their engines are powering up for emergency jump." Walker nodded. "Activate the gravity nets. Let's show them another surprise." Hidden generators around the solar system activated, creating a web of gravitational distortions that made faster-than-light travel impossible. The Dominion fleet was trapped. In his ship, Dex was frantically sending orders. "Launch all fighters. Target their command centers." "They can't possibly." He stopped as new data appeared on his screens. Human ships were moving in ways his tactical computers said were impossible, using technology that shouldn't exist. "You rely too much on brute force," Walker's voice came again. "While you've spent centuries using the same tactics, the same weapons, humanity has been innovating. Every weapon you see today was designed specifically to counter your technology." The space battle unfolded like a perfectly choreographed dance. Each human ship knew exactly where to be, exactly what to target. 75 years of preparation were paying off as humanity executed their battle plan with perfect precision. "Final warning, Dominion Fleet," Walker announced. "You have one chance to power down your weapons and surrender. Otherwise, we will be forced to demonstrate just how much we've learned from your past mistakes." The alien ships hung in space, caught between Earth's defensive grid and its hidden fleets, facing weapons they had never seen before. For the first time in their long history of conquest, The Dominion faced an enemy that had outplanned, outfought, and outprepared them. The real war was about to begin. High Commander Dex made his decision. Instead of surrendering, the Dominion fleet opened fire with everything they had. Space lit up with thousands of energy beams and missiles, all aimed at Earth's revealed defenses. As expected, Walker said calmly in the command center, "They always choose to fight. Execute Battle Plan Delta." Earth's response was beautiful in its complexity. The quantum shields didn't just block the alien attacks. They caught them, channeled them, and sent them back at different targets. Each Dominion ship found its own weapons being used against it. "Sir, their shields are adapting," Dr. White reported, watching the battle data stream in. "Just as we predicted, switching to Phase 2 weapons." Human ships moved in perfect formation, using maneuvers that had been practiced for decades. While the Dominion ships were huge and powerful, they were also slow. Earth's smaller vessels darted between them like wolves attacking a bear, striking at weak points that had been identified years ago. "Target their port engine clusters," Walker ordered. That's where the Roswell data showed their weakest. The first Dominion ship fell within minutes. Its massive hull cracked open like an egg, spilling light into space. The crew evacuated in escape pods, which Earth's ships quickly collected. "Show them what else we learned," Walker commanded. From hidden bases on Mars, electromagnetic pulse cannons powered up. These weren't the simple EMPs that humans had used in the past. These were quantum-enhanced pulses designed specifically to disrupt Dominion shield frequencies. In his flagship, Dex watched in horror as his fleet's defenses began to fail. "Impossible," he shouted. "How do they know our shield frequencies? How do they know where to strike?" The answer came as more human ships appeared from behind Earth's moon. Each one moved differently, used different tactics. While the Dominion had spent centuries perfecting one way of fighting, humanity had developed hundreds. "Their right flank is breaking," reported the tactical officer. "They're trying to regroup near Saturn." Walker nodded. "Spring the trap." Hidden installations on Saturn's moons revealed themselves. What the Dominion had thought were just chunks of ice and rock turned out to be weapon platforms and ship bays. More Earth vessels emerged, cutting off the aliens' retreat. "You wanted to see our nuclear weapons," Walker's voice broadcasted to the alien fleet. "Here's what we did with that primitive technology." Specialized warheads launched from Earth's ships. Instead of simple atomic explosions, these created controlled quantum reactions. Space itself seemed to twist around the Dominion vessels, trapping them in bubbles of distorted gravity. The battle turned into a slaughter. Humanity had spent 3 generations preparing for this exact fight, while the Dominion had grown lazy and predictable. Every time the aliens tried a tactic, Earth's forces were already 3 steps ahead. "Sir," Dr. White called out, "Dex's flagship is trying to broadcast a signal to their homeworld." "Let them," Walker replied with a smile. "That's exactly what we want." More Dominion ships fell. Some exploded, others simply powered down, their crews surrendering after seeing their invincible technology fail. Earth's gravity nets prevented any from escaping, while the quantum shields protected human ships from counterattacks. In his crippled flagship, Dex finally understood. You planned this all along," he transmitted. "The weak signals, the primitive responses, the fake panic. It was all a trap." "For 75 years, Walker confirmed. "Ever since your people killed those who came to warn us, we learned from their sacrifice, studied your patterns, and prepared. Humanity doesn't just adapt, Commander Dex. We perfect." The battle lasted less than an hour. When it ended, the mighty Dominion fleet floated dead in space, its crews either captured or surrendering. Not a single human ship had been lost. "Send word to all commands," Walker ordered. "Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 2. He looked at the main screen, where the captured alien crews were being brought aboard Earth vessels. "Now we show them what humanity does with victory." The real surprise, Walker knew, was still to come. The Dominion was about to learn that humanity's mercy could be just as impressive as its military might. The day after the battle, Earth's true power became clear to the captured Dominion forces. Instead of execution or imprisonment, which the aliens expected, they received medical treatment. Their wounded were cared for in advanced medical facilities that had been hidden beneath Earth's hospitals. Commander Walker stood before the assembled alien prisoners in a massive underground chamber. High Commander Dex, no longer proud but still dignified, stood at the front. "You're probably wondering why you're still alive," Walker began, his voice echoing through the chamber. "The answer is simple. Humanity doesn't just prepare for war. We prepare for peace." The chamber's walls lit up, showing holographic displays of Earth's hidden cities, advanced research centers, and peaceful technologies that had been developed alongside the weapons. "For 3 generations," Walker continued, "we didn't just build weapons. We built a future, one where any species, even former enemies, can find a place if they choose peace over war." Dex stepped forward, his glowing eyes dim with confusion. "I don't understand. We would have destroyed you without mercy. Why show us kindness?" Dr. White appeared beside Walker, holding her tablet. "Because that's what makes us different," she explained. "The Roswell species taught us about your weapons, yes, but they also taught us about your society, how it stagnated, how it stopped growing because it only focused on conquest." Walker pressed a button, and new holograms appeared, showing the signal that was being broadcast across the galaxy. Earth's message to the stars was being transmitted in every known alien language. "This is humanity's warning to the galaxy," Walker's voice rang out. "Not a threat, but a promise. Come in peace and find friendship. Come in war and find defeat. The choice is yours." The message continued, showing recordings of the battle. It demonstrated exactly what had happened to the Dominion fleet, but it also showed how the survivors were being treated. "Your fleet has been dismantled," Walker told the assembled aliens. "But your people have a choice. Stay here as refugees, learn our ways, and eventually become part of Earth's growing community of species, or return home with a warning." Dex looked around at the other captured commanders. "You would trust us, after we tried to destroy you." "Trust has nothing to do with it," Walker smiled. "We've had 75 years to study your psychology, your biology, your technology. We know you better than you know yourselves. Those who choose to stay will be watched, but they'll also be given a chance to learn, to grow, to become something more than conquerors." In orbit, Earth's fleet was already being repositioned. The defense grid shifted, preparing for the next potential threat. But now it was visible to all, a clear warning to any who might think of attacking. "Humanity is announcing itself to the galaxy," Dr. White explained to the prisoners. "Not as victims or targets, but as guardians. This solar system is now a sanctuary for any species that wants to live in peace." The aliens watched as more holograms showed Earth's true face, hidden cities that could house millions, farms that could feed billions, medical technology that could heal almost any wound or illness. "Your empire was built on fear," Walker said to Dex. "Ours is built on hope. That's why we won. And that's why we'll keep winning, not through force, but through preparation and determination." As if to prove his point, the chamber's final hologram showed the solar system's new defense network. Hundreds of satellites, ships, and stations, all powered by technology that had been refined and perfected over 3 generations of secret development. "The choice is yours," Walker concluded. "Stay and help build something new, or return home with our message. Earth is ready. Earth is waiting. And Earth will never be conquered." One by one, the alien commanders stepped forward, some to accept Earth's offer of sanctuary, others to request permission to carry the warning home. All of them understanding, finally, why their easy conquest had turned into such a complete defeat. Humanity had not just prepared for war, they had prepared for everything that came after. And now, the galaxy would never be the same.